we live?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yes. Sunday, December 27th. News in the boxing world, man. And we figured it'd come to this because Mayweather and I'm not going to say Pacquiao's camp because they seem like they're pretty solid, but the Mayweather camp is, and this is what.
Dude, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Right. You're sitting there. Okay, now what we're talking about is now we've come into the first obstacle in the fight that's supposed to happen March 13th between Mayweather and Pacquiao, and it's all because of this testing. These guys, the Mayweather camp, they want, and Golden Boy wants Olympic style testing, which is random. It's blood. It consists of blood and urine tests. It could be random. It could be up to the day of the fight. It
You
could
can be in the middle of a
fight.
workout. They come knocking on the door. You're supposed to stop what you're doing and go fucking give blood or pee.
Right. Now, that's fine. If that's something you want, then I can understand that. Pacquiao, there's been some people that are, I don't know. There's been some people that have said things about maybe him doing, PEDs, whatever. Paulie Malignaggi is one of those guys that's called him out on a couple times. The guy passed all his tests. He's willing to take his tests. He has an issue with all these blood tests. I'd have an issue with all those blood tests if I was a boxer. Randomly, that many times, it's fucked up. And especially coming from Floyd Mayweather Sr., who always has said, we don't need this fight.
Right.
We can beat him.
Like, the whole camp does not even give any credit to Pacquiao and what he's done. They're trying to write him off, but now they're like, I'm not trying to say they're finding a loophole or backdoors, but they're trying to quote-unquote make the playing field level. Dude, if you pass a drug test, you pass a drug test. Just fight.
Yeah. If he's passing drug tests, fight. If he's not that much of a competition for your son, then why are you fucking worried about it? He is the smaller man. He's still the smaller man. I mean, now all of a sudden you're fucking finding all these particulars to fucking cause a fucking bunch of headaches. I don't know. I just don't agree with it.
Maybe it's a head game. Maybe they're trying to get Pacquiao out of his... But, I mean, dude, in the middle of this fight, he's running for...
They're going to make that little nigga mad. He's going to fuck some shit up.
Well, he's running for office in the middle of all this.
He is the best multitask. He multitasks. Manny Pacquiao multitasks like a woman, shorty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he could fuck you up, run for office, sing at the opera, and then do a movie. You know what I'm saying? And just
it's a busy dude.
It's a busy dude.
And
really
let's face it, from what I've heard, if they don't take this fight, Pacquiao's already got a fight lined up. He's
Paulie Malignaggi. He wants to knock his block off, just like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. He's sick of his ass too, talking all that trash.
Might could happen.
Might could. Now, what do you think about it?
I just hope they get past all this shit and we can actually see the fight.
Totally.
I mean, here, both of you go through the same drug testing. If you guys are using performance-enhancing drugs, I don't care. Shoot your hiney up full of the best stuff in the country, in the world.
Just fight.
I mean, just fight. Granted, I'm sure the stuff that Pacquiao can get over in Thailand or wherever is a little bit better than the shit you're going to get here because it's dry around these parts. Not that I know about those things, but I hear stuff.
Now, let me ask you, bottom line, do you think the fight's going to materialize at least before the March 13th date?
Right now, yes.
So do I.
If this shit continues into January, mid-January, if we're still having this same conversation...
Nope.
I could see Mayweather pulling out. I could see Mayweather saying, if you don't do this, then I'm not going to fight. And I can see Pacquiao going,
whatever, I'll fight Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah, I can see that. If we're having this conversation on January 27th, there will not be a fight in March.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. As of right now, today, I think the fight will still materialize. If it goes
another
3 more weeks, it's going to be in trouble.
Now,
it's going to be jeopardy.
On to the PR move of the century. Tiger Woods, I heard, is submitting himself to sex rehab.
Man, that shit ain't gonna work, man. What the fuck, man? Sex fucking rehab, man. Who does that shit? That's like when girls get titty reductions. Man, I'm telling you right now, it makes no sense. You people out there hearing me? I'm spitting. I'm so fucking upset about this. Sex. What are they going to tell him to do, George?
Stop putting your dick in a whole bunch of random women.
Look, I mean,
I don't know how else.
You can't stop that. That's not a problem. As long as he's got a computer, and tube 8 or red tube,
extreme tube,
girls' food, boys' food.
You got more girls' food than most.
That's not funny. But bottom line is this: I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think it could happen. He could actually go to the fucking class and sit back, and they can tell him, you might want to control your penis. You might not want to, fucking stick it in everything.
Well, but the next big headline is Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's had stepped down as the head coach of Florida, citing health reasons.
Not to be mistaken for urban legend.
No, it's not an urban legend. He has an urban heart problem.
Yes.
So, But hats off to him for stepping down and thinking of his family first. Kevin and I think we probably both agree that he's done a hell of a job at, what was it, Utah?
He did a hell of a job at Utah and then came over to Florida and did, I mean, he had a team at Utah that he claims was probably better than one of the teams he had at Florida that went undefeated one season. Obviously, he's a good coach. Obviously, he does his job the right way. Obviously, he has a very good relationship with the boys he recruits and the faculty and alumni and everything else, but it's starting to weigh in like any of these coaching positions, and it's starting to take a toll on his health. And like you said earlier when we were talking, George was making a point, like this guy must really be micromanaging, really be dealing with a lot of the particulars in the college football coaching game, because you see people like Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll looks like he's 40-something years old. He looks great, and he gets a lot of the good recruits and stuff like this. But the bottom line is that coaching college football is not even remotely like coaching a professional team. It's just not even remotely as demanding and stuff. You're looking at film basically 18 to 20 hours a day as a professional coach. And go ahead.
I was totally going to switch subjects because that means we don't need to go into any details. You really don't care what we think. And
right.
Now let's move on to the one thing we asked all of our members over at our forum who follow MMA.
Right.
We asked you to vote on specific MMA things.
Right.
First knockout of the year.
Okay.
And the winner is my mom versus you.
What?
No, I'm fucking with you.
Oh, okay.
Bisbing and Henderson.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
That was a nasty fucking knockout.
For all you people who remember, Bisbing was talking trash, and Henderson basically walked around the cage like this the whole time going, I'm going to kill you. He hit that Bama with one of the best right hands, and obviously, according to the folks over our board, that's what they agree with.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much you've been looking around, but I've looking around as Fighter of the Year. Fighter of the Year I've seen go a couple different ways.
Right.
I've seen it go to GSP, but he only fought twice.
Right.
But the name that keeps popping up is this kid, Jose Aldo, over in the WEC.
Right.
He's had 4 wins this year, all against big-name guys over in the WEC. His last win was against Mike Brown to give him the tiny weight champ? 145 pounds?
Midget weight.
Yeah. I don't know what weight class that is, but they're...
James, you might want to roll a disclaimer because I'm talking a little shit. I just don't want to see anybody when we go to fight and get fucked up.
Now... The one I watched, this next award that was voted on by our people,
real slowly,
our people on our board system was Submission of the Year.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people, one of my favorites was Yoshida with the Anaconda choke.
Right.
It was very impressive. But the one that actually won was Toby Imada with an inverted triangle. And for you people who haven't seen this, go over to our website, www.uncutsports.com. Click on our boards, sign up, and go to our MMA part, and you will get to see the submission. It is nasty.
Yeah, it's fucking nasty ass submission.
And I think that covers. The last one, Fight of the Year.
When I was seeing everything coming in, everybody was talking about Diego Sanchez versus Clay Guida. Is that what it ended up winning? Because that's what initially the first barrage of votes were coming in.
And that fight was crazy.
And that fight was nuts. It was a great fight. What ended up winning?
Gilbert Melendez versus Josh Thompson, which we just saw on Strikeforce last Saturday.
But they're talking about the first fight. Or the second fight.
I'm pretty sure it's the second fight. I don't think, no. It's because the second fight wasn't listed, and nobody wrote in other. So
it was the first fight. The second fight was.
Second fight. I'm assuming. Put it this way: Gilbert Melendez versus Josh Thompson, 1 or 2, obviously won.
The first, I think they're talking about the first fight because the second fight, Gilbert Melendez just hands down won unanimous decision. The first fight, no one ever picked Josh Thompson to beat Melendez's ass. They were sparring partners and everything, and he knew him, but he fucking just shook up the world. Okay, I've had too much Red Bull.
So, thanks. Are they paying us?
I know. Neither is Monster.
Anyone? Is anyone from Monster or Red Bull watching this?
YouTube bet US. Haven't heard from you bitches. There goes some chances there.
Jesus.
Anyway, so where are we moving on to? George and I are
how about fantasy football?
Huh? Yeah, man. My fantasy football season came to an abrupt ending last Sunday. And why? Because our buddy Jimmy, actually, who owns the Fantasy Fluffers, I got beat by a fucking team called the Fantasy Fluffers. That just fucking upsets me to no fucking end. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. It came down, I was winning by 5 points. He had 2 players, okay? He had Quentin Ganther for the Redskins and Jason Campbell for the Redskins. I had Devin Thomas for the Redskins and fucking Davis, their tight end, who's just had a remarkable season since he stepped in for Cooley. I'm winning. I'm crushing. It's the fourth quarter. Jason Campbell's having a terrible game like I knew he would. Devin Thomas gets hurt and goes out of the game. So now I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm worried. But I'm still winning the fucking game. Getting ready to
crushing,
win.
By the way. He used the word crushing.
Crushing. And I'm getting ready to go into the championship. Sorry, Bobby, because you got eliminated from the championship before me. Mug only lost one game. Anyway, Mark Mason drives the ball. Marcus Mason all the way down to the 1 yard line. And you figure since he did the whole drive, they let him.
They turned and handed to Quentin Ganther.
This kid goes and gets 6 points. Fucking the fantasy fluffers beat me, and I'm out of the fucking championship.
Bitter. And now Jimmy's matched up against T-Lock, who he's beat T-Lock.
Yeah.
And he's favored to win by 26 points.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our show.